Welcome to Cardano Over Coffee with your Wednesday crew, Lido Nation, Cook Time, Jenny from the Blockchain, and co-hosts Epoch Pool and Hero Pool. Today's show we have Perplexus.io, and they tell us about how they're working to solve the problems that perplex us. Then we have DEMU Pro, a music rights protocol built on Cardano and funded through Catalyst. Grab a cup of coffee and let's jump right in.
Now that we've all gotten that out of our system, let's give our guests a giant round of emojis. Woot woot. Let's cross our finger and pray that they don't say anything sketchy during this interview that will cause us to stop the interview, or try to scam us in any way. Uh, welcome, welcome to the stage, Perplexus. What an introduction, right?
Hello. Hello. Thank you for having us.
Oh man. Yeah, thanks for being here. Why don't you, looks like you got a few people here on the stage that's with the team. Why don't you give us the short version of who is running this thing, this Perplexus thing, and then what did the group do before this? What was your previous gig?
Sure. My name's Jack. We've actually talked before, Lido. My name's Jack, XYZZY. Me, you, and Estep had a call one time. But the other two people are Funiculum and Esteb, and they can introduce themselves if they want real quick. Um,
Yeah, sure, I'll go ahead. Can everyone hear me?
yeah.
Yes.
Yep, we got you.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I'm S-Dub. I'm a software engineer or software developer, whatever term you want to use by trade. I guess I have a cybersecurity background, but I got into blockchain development about a year ago, and Jack and I have just been kind of going through ideas ever since, and now Perplexus is our latest endeavor.
Neat. And Jack, what is your gig? So what's his face over here is a software engineer. What is your thing?
I'm still in college, senior at University of Illinois.
What are you going to school for?
Kinesiology, and I study like biomechanics. But I'm just super passionate about Cardano, and I like business, sort of doing with
Excellent. Is Cardano you guys' first chain that you've tried to build on?
in terms of like building stuff on it, absolutely, yeah. We were really we got into NFTs like a year ago, and we are like, oh, what's a good chain? And we didn't really like Ethereum's like pricing and stuff, so we are like, oh, let's try Cardano. And then Samuel is really good at developing, so we sort of just wanted to build things, and we've kind of spent the last year. We started a DAO on Cardano, and we've sort of been trying to build that out as well. Waiting for sort of tools and more opportunities to come in that regard, hopefully in 2023. But yeah, we've just sort of been chilling and helping the community where we can. We have a stake pool, and yeah.
Cool. Well, get into it. The flow is yours. Get into your presentation or talk or whatever you have in mind, and then we will get into some Q&A.
Sure. Well, Perplexus is like it's a software development company, and our goal is to build tools on Cardano and Ergo, mainly for e-commerce and just project development regarding NFTs and sort of project to project specific things. So we came out with a tool already, kind of an app called Holiday, and it sort of combines, a few of the crucial tools that we want to release as services to people, and creates like a holiday card company that uses NFTs to sort of solve some of the problems with holiday cards and e-cards. They're a major vector for fraud, and they waste a lot of paper. And with NFTs, you can, safely send them back and forth. You can even attach ADA, and you don't waste nearly as much, natural resources. There's still some natural resource waste with like running a computer and stuff. But anyways, so our goal in 2023 is to sort of just individualize the tools that created Holiday and release those as services to projects on Cardano. And then, later into 2023, really make those things something that we can do on Ergo as well, because we see sort of a parallel ethos and belief system in the blockchains. And we think there's a lot of opportunity on Ergo that's sort of untapped. And From there, we sort of started reaching out to people over there. We met Funiculum, and we think he has a brilliant idea of what Ergo is and how it can achieve so many great things. And he also really likes Cardano, so it really works out that me and SDub have been focused the last year entirely essentially on Cardano, and then we meet Funiculum, who's entirely focused on Ergo more or less, and we can really symbiotically work now and figure out, okay, what are the problems that we can solve to help these ecosystems. But that's sort of the main first spiel. I can answer questions now on what I just said before I ramble for too long, because I can do that on accident.
Super cool. Well, Funiculum, we haven't heard from you. So what is your background? Ergo, and what's the 411?
The full one is that I first got into crypto in May 2020 when I discovered Cardano. So I instantly fell in love with it, but I didn't really use socials that much. I just kept myself updated by watching Charles AMAs, and that's it. But then in March 2021, when I discovered Ergo, I realized that I could actually make a difference in this chain because it's so small, but it's so active and so full of talent that I felt like I could be a big fish in a small pond. So that's when I started being more active on socials, because I started the very first NFT project on Ergo in March 2021. And since then, I've been bouncing between the two chains. I did a collaboration with Hosky, because apparently before he became Hosky, he used to be, he still is, I want to believe, a big fan of the NFT series I launched on Ergo. So when he became Hosky, he was like, well, we need to do something together. So I did a collaboration with him. And yeah, so it's great to have an impact on both chains at the same time. So yeah, that's also why I feel like, I can really connect with both Stub and Zizi from Perplexus, because we both have our feet in these two ponds. Is that how it's said? Anyway, you got the point. That's the one-on-one.
That makes a lot of sense, and definitely thanks for being here. And so just so I understand what the gig is Perplexus is a provider that can help people implement solutions. If they need, are you like the likes of like the same thing M Labs or some of these other teams do in a space that helps people who don't have engineering skills bring that project to life? Is that the space you're in, or are you trying to build products?
Yeah, I would say kind of like a hybrid of that. Like, we want to build products that we can obviously have revenue sources from, but at the same time we do want to help certain projects that maybe they do need more specific development, and that interests us, right? Our sort of slogan is we're trying to solve the problems that perplex us, right? So that's sort of what inspired the name. So we're just kind of going to do what we want to do, right? So if it comes down to helping this project or releasing a tool that everybody can use, it kind of just comes down to where we're at, what we're feeling. Some of the things we do have on the docket, though, we're going to keep improving the holiday card thing. We're also, we're working with Funiculum on something special that we want to release on Cardano as well, in terms of an NFT. And then with BossDAO as well, right, we're going to be developing consistently, trying to add into that project and figure out how we're going to, best do that. And that's launching on Summon as well, which everybody here I think is a huge fan of. So, but yeah, nothing we do have an internal roadmap, but there's nothing where in terms of we're specifically M Labs, or we're specifically Anvil or
Yeah. That makes sense, and definitely I will circle back to some of that us in the Perplexus and the holiday AI, and then maybe I'll even try to get you to drop some alpha on the thing that you're working on that you don't want to tell us about. But we'll go to Epoch for now. If anybody else has a question, come on up, do the hand thing. We're chatting with Perplexus. What's up, Epoch? Does this every time. You say what's up, Epoch, and then one of his girls comes and steals his phone away.
He has been eating donuts, so he might have a donut in his mouth right now. So.
I literally
There's that.
I sat down to make coffee, and the moment I press the coffee button, I just hear, "No, Daddy!" Ah. I'm like, "Ah!"
I
So
feel
I
your
run
pain. Don't worry.
upstairs, and then of course the second I start helping her with the iPad, then someone says like, "Then let's go to Epoch," and I was like, "Oh my god!" So running back down the stairs. Anyway, I wanted to ask a question about some of the previous projects before we kind of get deeper into Perplexus. I think the software developer was mentioning that there's been kind of a few, this is one of many projects in blockchain. I just wanted to make sure I heard that right. And if so, kind of what other, projects have you been affiliated with, or what other things might we recognize, if you're comfortable talking about that?
Yeah, sure. I would say our main project is the DAO that we've been referring to, Boss DAO, that's going to be working with Summon here in a moment. And then I guess in terms of the other projects we've done minting for quite a few NFT projects. That was our thing for a few months, kind of in the summer. And then we've mentioned holiday cards as well. That's our most recent thing. So not a lot of things that we can really put our Perplexus brand on except holiday, but it's more or less just been a series of developments that we've been able to gain experience from, but aren't necessarily things that like we can own, if that makes sense.
But you said one of them is Boss DAO. Is that something that takes up a significant amount of your team's time?
Oh yeah. I mean, we try to focus on it like, as much as we can, but at the same time, like a DAO kind of functions differently than like an NFT project normally would, right? It's not like, we buy and sell NFTs with Boss DAO, right? So it's sort of based on what the community wants to do time to time. Me and SDub just sort of figure out what we're going to do based off of what they want us to do. So one of the things we're working on now is like, we worked on a new art collection for Boss DAO, got that done. We're building a website that has some, functionality on it with the NFT, and then there's some other things we're going to do regarding like distributions and stuff like that in the future. But when it comes to doing sorts of things with Boss DAO, you have to be really careful, because we want to do everything by the book and make sure that it's something with like longevity in mind. So there's a lot of regulatory uncertainty, and like we're trying to. It's also very expensive to get regulatory clarity. So there's a lot of things we're trying to do, but I would say it takes up like we kind of work in sprints, man. I would say that's a better way to put it than like anything. Like we kind of we'll focus on something for a month or 2 months, and then we'll focus on another thing for a month or 2 months. But yeah. Hope that answers your question, Epoch.
Yeah, I think that does. I'm just trying to get an understanding of what all's on y'all's plate, right? So if there's like 7 different projects, it might be hard.
Hey, a lot of what we're doing is being done concurrently though. So like what SDub said about how we've done minting. We sort of the holiday cards thing, like I said in the beginning, is just a combination of the few of the tools that we have that we want to release as services, right? So we're kind of doing things for multiple projects, but it's concurrent parallel development. You know what I'm saying? So what's happening at Boss DAO is benefiting from the same things that are happening at Perplexus or holiday cards. And if we need to focus on something, that's something we want to communicate that to people and be like, hey, we're going to focus on this for a little while, and we want to be open and source ideas and stuff like that from the community, and we want it to be a process, right? So we have an idea of like the way we want to accomplish things, and we realize right now it's like, oh, we're doing a lot, and we are doing a lot, but we've been doing a lot for the past year, and we've accomplished a lot. It's just a matter of now we're trying to come out and talk about it more and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And for what it's worth, I like the way that you're kind of answering that. Being able to reuse your efforts and reuse your code, and be thoughtful about how you're growing it and turning your kind of early development into products and testing those waters, right? I think you guys seem to have some business sense, which is always good to see in a early team. So thanks for answering that and being transparent about your involvement there.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. I'm a big fan. I appreciate you, man.
I see
Me,
the AI cards. That's like a little bit sounds fun. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. So we basically just had an idea, like we just wanted to we like I don't know, we just kind of thought of it one day, like what if we had NFT cards and like what would that do? And the idea is to sort of like generate a new style of like card front, and we use like Midjourney, right? Like the AI thing, using OpenAI, but we do have some curated ones that we built using Canva because we needed to get some out for the holidays. But in the future, we want to release some like birthday cards and just some like standard, you know what I mean, like the standard cards you'd see in like a store. Um, and
This takes me back to the beginning of the internet when we were like making those cards.
yeah,
So
it's like really sort of it's like simple and fun, and and we're sort of still working out exactly, like the pricing is still like being figured out with do people like it or not, and it's a really cool app in my opinion that hasn't, I don't know if it's been done before, but I really don't think it has. But Samuel can get a little bit more into like the technical side of it, because I will say I'm not. He
Yeah,
built
sure.
it, so.
And Jack, if you want to drop a link for everyone while I'm going on my spiel. But yeah, Holiday, I guess, was the result of just kind of a permutation of a bunch of ideas we had floating around in our head. We're both super into AI. I know ChatGPT was brought up earlier. That's an open AI product. I think GitHub Copilot's awesome. And then there's these two different AI services that both use OpenAI, called Midjourney, and then there's DALL-E. And if some of you haven't maybe heard of those things, I'll explain them. You can essentially give this AI like a word-based prompt. So if you want to say like, draw me an elephant riding a bicycle in New York City, something completely random, it can essentially draw it for you using the result of like millions and millions of images that it's analyzed and learned the art styles from. And it's a really fun, creative process to like go through all these ideas you have in your mind and like, get the AI to draw things for you. And we thought, what if we can take this really fun concept and apply it to NFTs in some way? And then we also had the holiday card idea floating around. And so we kind of put those two together and we thought, what if people can create their own custom holiday cards, not only the image, but also, giving them the ability to draw things over them and write messages and stuff. And, what if people could do that and then send it to their friends, just for, 5 or 10 ADA, or send it to their friends and family and kind of replicate the, physical holiday card experience, but with a new way that kind of solves some problems, like John was talking about fraud and the waste of paper and everything. And we did some business analysis on companies like Hallmark, and it turns out like, yes, they do waste a lot of paper for one. And number two, like their profit margins are really, really thin because the supply chain for like, getting the paper, printing the ink onto it, getting it to a store, and then finally selling it is ends up being like, they're making a few cents in every card or something. So the e-card and NFT card model kind of solves that. And then we kind of just we iterated on that idea, and we ended up, over the course of like, I think we started with the idea and started developing it, and like 25 days later we pushed it out. The domain is holiday.cards if anyone wants to check it out. And yeah, it's just kind of our V1. So
I see like you get to pick from like I guess like some things are pre-selected and then you get to play around with the other part of the card. Like you can attach pictures and do drawings, kind of like
exactly. Yeah, our idea was like, when you pick out the card to begin with, that's like the front of it, and then the UI is like you're drawing on the back of it and adding whatever you want to it. And then, later down the line, we want to incorporate those ideas I was just talking about with allowing people to actually create their own card using those artificial intelligences.
I'm making one as we speak here, so I'll share it with you guys when I'm done.
Yeah, and the
So I can send it to somebody from there. Like when I mint it, I can mint it straight into somebody else's wallet.
Yeah, you can just type in a Cardano address or an ADA handle and it does it all for you.
and boom. Go ahead, Holy Macaroni.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, I actually was going to ask you kind of what is y'all's scope of abilities to help people, but it sounds like you have a pretty wide range. So I guess, so changing up my question, how would people reach out to you? And is it fair to say, like, somebody could just reach out to you with whatever technical idea, and then you can evaluate if you can help them or not? And that the second question, are you? I know one of you are in college, I think you said, but are any of you full time on this? Or are you all kind of doing this in your spare time, like a lot of us are doing? Or
I would say I'm kind of one of those developers where like I have a full-time job that, I do software with, like I do cybersecurity, like I said, but then like my kind of the things I like to do for fun are also software development. They're just like a different kind of development. So that's where kind of blockchain has come in. I really like I gain a lot of like personal satisfaction out of like building things, and so I'm not. I think some days I put in 8 hours, but over the course of a week, like it's 30 or 40. I definitely like it's. I'd say it's full time, but it's not necessarily like the only thing I'm doing. So I still have my fiat job, if you want to call it that.
okay, yeah, and I actually might reach out to you. I've been in cybersecurity for 13 years, and I find that intriguing you are. So I might message you and see if I can have a chat with you. But and so if in that first question, because I just ask a lot of crazy mixed up things, but how would somebody reach out to you? And again, right, could they just reach out to you with whatever technical idea, then you can talk to them and evaluate if you can help them or not, or kind of what's the approach is best for you guys?
Jack, do you want to chime in on this one?
Yeah. You can DM us, or there's a Discord link on our website, or you can email xyzzy@perplexus.io. Anyway, man, any way you want to reach out to us, you can just pop in the Discord and put it in the general chat, or if you want to call about it, we can call about it. But we are sort of in a hiatus with actually onboarding to do development projects. We want to build like a toolkit, that can sort of be like a more passive source of revenue for projects that just want to use that or whatever, and then we can go hands-on and get deeper into the problems with what specific people want to do. Because I think it's important, like for us at least, to have ways of accruing revenue and that sort of stuff without having to rely on contracts and like getting good jobs every month. That's a much higher pace sort of thing. I don't want to get too deep into the business model because it's probably kind of boring, but yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you guys answering my questions, and I really like your approach. Yeah, thanks.
I'll ask some boring questions. We're sort of towards the end of our time together here. Some boring questions. Where is Perplexus register? In which jurisdiction?
We're working on getting registered, but we're working with a lawyer in the space and some overseas registration. Cayman Islands is probably what we're going to do, just because they have a thing called a VAS, which is like a virtual asset service provider's license. But there's a lot of options, and we're taking things slowly. We'd love to be able to get regulated, where we live, but I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of things we want to do, and we are working with a lawyer and stuff, and we're being careful. So yeah, but we will probably, when we have a bigger announcement for it, but yeah.
And then, so for the software person, what's your experience with Crazy Haskell, and can you crank out some smart contracts?
So I actually did the third cohort of the Plutus Pioneer program, although I can't claim to be a full Plutus Pioneer because I stopped doing it about 7 weeks out of 10 weeks in to work on Bostyle. Actually, I had to kind of choose which one I wanted to focus on. So I definitely, and I had a little Haskell experience before that, but I'm not really a functional programmer necessarily. But it's definitely something that I'm going to continue to pick up, and as we go on and smart contracts become more necessary to what Perplexus wants to do. But I'm not like, I'm not like Riley Kilgore or anything, but it's something that I definitely will pick up more in the future.
And then this NFT project, what is it that Funiculum is working on?
Well, Funiculum is barely talks, and he has an amazing way of saying things. So I'll just leave this last thing for him, and because he's kind of been, doing the art, and we're kind of working on like the different things for it. But he's a really great artist, and yeah, I hope he's here actually.
I'm not sure how much I can I can say. So
You can say it. This is not a recorded space.
Okay. You can say whatever you want, man.
okay, awesome. Okay, the main idea is
By the way, this is a recorded space. Just to put that out there. But carry on.
it's alright. It's just that there is a lot of stuff going on with these NFT projects. So yeah, I'm not sure how much I can reveal, but the main idea is there is a lot of world building going on. Imagine Disco Solaris on crack. So what we want to do is we want to basically translate some sort of like crypto characters we come across on a daily basis. It can be developers, it can be NFT degens, it can be big investors, and so on. So we are taking those and we are bringing them to the Perplexus world that we are building, which is something like, imagine steampunk meets cyberpunk meets lots of other stuff. So we have clear ideas in mind when it comes to the style. So it needs to have some sort of like vintage vibe to it by leveraging the steampunk style, but it also needs to represent the advancements in technology that crypto is going to bring to the world, basically. So yeah, that's the sort of style we are going on. And when it comes to the characters themselves, as I said, they are representations of sort of like, I'm not really sure how to call them, like I can, the only way I think I can call them is like crypto characters, crypto personas. And yeah, so like the level of character design is very much in depth. So every single class basically is gonna have their own assets, unlike 99% of all the NFT projects out there, where you have the same assets shared across every single base. For example, space buds, you've got different bases, which are different animals, but then the assets themselves, such as the candle or a bouquet of flowers and stuff like that, they're all shared across these bases. I personally think that kind of like waters down the character design. Imagine something like space buds, but for example, cats have cat-related assets, and the same goes for every other animal. In that way, you really emphasize each and every one of the bases, each and every one of the characters, and that's what we are going for. Obviously, it's not the most efficient way to go about it, because it ends up being, it's a lot more work than just drawing one asset and just slapping it on every single base. But the end result is way more coherent, because again, it's going to emphasize every single character themselves. So for example, you've got the NFT degen, so it can only have assets that show a different side of the NFT degen lifestyle. And I think that's enough. There is more, but the more bit is something that we still need to discuss. And not discuss, but something that we need to settle on. And the only thing I can say is that the minting experience, we want it to be different. You know how fun it was to mint that pixel in like last summer. It was amazing. It was so fun. We want to give that sort of like wow vibe again, instead of send the money, get the NFT, hope you get rich, and that's it. No, that's not what we are going to do.
Wow.
So yeah.
Okay. Well.
Whoa. So you're disrupting the whole NFT game.
Well, the thing is, I've always done things in the least inefficient way possible, both on Ergo and now. But the end result is something that, again, it's very much new. It's something that people are not used to, which can work for or against us, because when people find something new, it can be, people are lazy, okay? So if the minting experience is too much different from what they're used to, if the rarity system is too much different from what they're used to, they can be asked learning, all it. At least I feel like most people are like that, and I can't blame them, because there is so much stuff going on in the space. So it needs to be different, because we are in a bear market. We can chill. We can focus on building. We don't have that. Oh my God! People want NFTs now. I need to push as many NFTs as I can. So that plays in our favor. And yeah. Oh my God! Wait, I didn't mention the most important thing. So Stub is a very humble developer. He told you that he's got a background in cybersecurity and all that. What he didn't tell you is that he's a Plutus pioneer who eats cereals with Haskell for breakfast. So whenever either I or Zizi come up with ideas, he's like he can rationalize them and he can translate them into code. As an artist, as someone who keeps vomiting stuff from his brain when it comes to being creative with his own NFTs, a developer like Stub is a godsend because the limit is basically our imagination. So we've been brainstorming ideas to make it so that, for example, the factions, the classes represented in this NFT project can fight against each other, or they can collaborate together to achieve a goal. Again, I'm purposely being very vague about all this because we have brainstormed a lot of different ideas, but obviously we would rather, announce something official once we agree. We definitely agree on something. But again, the main point is having this sort of talent in the team really opens up to a lot of amazing opportunities.
Who said this person doesn't talk? That was a lie. We'll go ahead and
talk yet. I said we had talk yet. I said we had
okay.
That's why
I'm
done.
No, it was great. It was good to have the alpha. Well, you've heard what the crew is up to. Sounds like a few things in a few places. If any of that vibes with you, how can they reach out again?
You can just DM us, follow us, and there's a Discord link on our website. And I just want to say thank you, Lido. This is our first Twitter Spaces like a group, so I really appreciate you giving us the stage and all that. I'm a big fan. I try to tune in every morning on my personal account, so I appreciate you guys. Have a great day.
Excellent, and we're glad to be here. Glad to have you as you launch different products and stuff, or reach different milestones with BuzzDAO. Do come back. We love updates. Okay, we will go ahead and transition to our next guest. Just some quick housekeeping. You're listening to Cardano over coffee. We are here Monday to Friday for 2 hours from 2:30 p.m. UTC. Your hosts are Hero Pool, Epoch Pool, Lido Nation, TCT, Blackjack, Jenny Brito, and always chilling, Coke Time. This is your Wednesday crew, Lido, Cook Time, Jenny, every Wednesday, same place. Before we get to the guests, we'll do a quick mid-roll. Epoch, I know you're here, but also Cook Time does a funny mid-roll. So we'll go ahead and pass your mid-roll baton to her. And let's hear it, Cook Time. What's the mid-roll?
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for coming to today's show. We do this Monday through Friday from 2:30 p.m. UTC to 4:30 p.m. UTC. If you'd like to be scheduled on the show, just click the Cardano over coffee logo. We have a link tree in our bio. And while you're there, maybe stop by and get some coffee. Cardano over coffee has our own line of coffee that you can purchase with ADA. Pretty great stuff. Just check it out. It's all in the link tree. Other than that, take your ADA off exchanges. Just create a wallet. If you have any questions on how to do that, definitely DM one of us. Reach out to anyone in the audience. Everyone's going to be very helpful here. But other than that, we'll get back into it.
Super, super cool. Wait, did we talk about the staking thing?
Take your ADA off exchanges and stake it to a stake pool. If you don't know where to stake,
now you know.
Now you know. We have Lido Nation with his own pool. We have Epoch pool. We have Hero pool. Jenny has a pool. She doesn't talk about it.
It's secret. It's secret. Yeah, if you just read that Musavi article and you're like, what? Staking? Non-custodial? What? I'm in. And you everything to some ADA, go stake it. Get it off of Coinbase or whatever exchange is on. And put it in the pool.
Hey, Lido, can I add something?
Yes.
Halfway through the show is also a great time to retweet the space before the new guest shows up or is kind of talking. So I'm only seeing 9 retweets and 14 likes on the original tweet. So if you go in the bottom right and click the little comment bubble and scroll to the top, please like and retweet that. That's the easiest way to get people into this space. And it's always polite to do that before the guests are running. So let's just take a second and please do that. And thanks to Time for the midroll.
So this next guest has just totally thrown me off my little rockers. Running around with a new profile, the word pro. This is all like new information. So it's almost like I don't know you at all.
I know, and I'm so glad you're here because I have been meaning to look at the stuff you sent me, and Christmas was just insane for me. So I'm happy to hear from you.
Nate, welcome to the stage. Why don't you give us an introduction of who you are and the short version of how you came into Cardano?
And how do you pronounce it? Demu or Demu or Demo? How do you pronounce
We
it?
pronounce it DEMU, so it's short for decentralized music, and I just kind of squashed those two together, DEMU, and that's what it is. It was really a working title, right? I was too lazy to come up with a name, so let's just call it DEMU for now. We'll come up with something better later, and it just kind of stuck.
Got it. I'm so glad you got me. You put me out of my mystery. I was trying so hard.
Right. And you know, a lot of you guys, you know, are familiar with me. I've been running around for like over a year now, talking about this thing. But I appreciate being able to talk about it and pitch it to you guys. 'Cause every time I talk about it, I improve on the pitch. I improve on what I'm talking about here because it's a lot to unpack, especially for a layman, a music professional. And so that's what I'm doing every time. I'm chiseling away at a block of stone until I get a sculpture, you know? So I appreciate, so I have a new version of my pitch and I'm going to run it by you guys. And I hope that it lands for you guys because a lot of people still think it's a music player. Like we're competing with Spotify and it's annoying. We're not that. And so maybe I hyper focused on our music player too much. And so anyway, let me get to it. Sorry, I'm also in dialysis, so if you hear beeps again, you know, sorry. Anyway, so here it goes. So my name is Session Cruz, and we're building DEMU. We seek to provide financial services for the music industry via our music rights protocol. We use the blockchain to automatically distribute music royalties back to the rights holders whenever their song are monetized anywhere in the world from any platform. It's similar to how Visa processes payments on behalf of their merchant partners. The apps built on or connected to our protocol, DEMU, are our merchant partners, and we make sure that the royalties they generate for the monetization of music on their apps flow back to the rights holders of the song. We hope to kickstart an ecosystem of music apps built on top of our protocol with the challenge of paying music royalties already solved for them. See, that's the big challenge for them. For these music app startups, you still need to know a guy. You need to be connected to someone within the music industry, and that's not easy. It's slow. You need money. There's lots of bullshitters, and it takes months to get a deal through. The process of licensing music is just not scalable until DEMU. Now developers can focus on building their music NFT marketplaces, music streaming services, music metaverses, etc. And existing players like Spotify and others can also connect to our protocol, alleviating themselves of the administrative burden of paying millions of artists their royalties, right? This helps to reduce the time it takes for rights holders to receive their royalties from months to minutes. there are more benefits to the rights holder by managing music rights on the blockchain in this way. And maybe I can talk about a couple of them here later. But we've already built a proof of concept. We've signed some letters of intent from Web3 music companies already being built. And we're looking for investment to get us on the next level. We were funded by Project Now I'm going off script. We were funded by Project Catalyst. Thank you to the Cardano community. We raised $100,000. That got us that proof of concept that demonstrates that the auto distribution of music royalties is even possible in the first place. So thank you to the Cardano community for that. And now we're looking to move on to the next step in our plan. Anyway, I'm done.
Wow.
What do you guys think about that? Did that land?
That's a pitch. That's a pitch. Well, if you have thoughts on that, come up, do the hand thing. Let's get straight to the hands. What's up, Holy Macaroni?
Yeah, thanks again. Hey, so first of all, props to you working while dialysis. A lot of respect for that, man, and hope the best for you. Anyway, so and this is a genuine question because I actually just don't understand. What is the differentiation between what you're doing and Project Noom is doing?
So,
and that's just my lack of understanding. That's all.
So Project Noom could be considered a merchant built on our protocol, right? And as they sell music or monetize the music in any way that they do, we just make sure that royalties are flowing back to all the rights holders. From what I understand, they're more of a music distribution company. So a music distribution or music distributor, they help artists get land on Spotify and all these other music streaming websites. So that's what they help do, and to collect royalties from the generated on those streaming sites to go back to the people that buy the pieces of their royalties. So that's kind of how it. But so that's. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much about them. Me and Ryan are cool. I mean, he's tried to recruit me a bunch of times, and I hope that he doesn't know it yet, but we're going to work together because I believe that this protocol will power his royalties back to the rights holders of the music. I don't want to say better than, but it's just going to be. They'll be able to focus on one part of the business while we focus on the other.
Awesome. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Teamwork make the dream work.
Wow. What's up, Epoch?
Yeah, and I thought the pitch was good sessions. I think you covered all the bases, and yeah, I think it was definitely very, very complete. Curious to see where you guys go from this, and I didn't realize that y'all were funded by Project Catalyst, so that's great to hear as well. What have you collected any money from that yet? What milestones are ahead of you there?
Oh yeah, I mean, we were funded in Fund 8, so we've already finished. I've already got my video closeout report. I demonstrate the technology that we've built.
Oh, those are good. Do you have a link for that you can post?
Yeah. Hold on. You know what? It's pinned to this profile, but you know what? I'll put it right in this chat for you guys. But yeah, so yeah, we built a proof of concept, just handed it in really. So I've been quiet, as you guys might have noticed. Hold on, here it is. Here's the pitch.
Yo, Sessions, those videos better be good because I'm watching.
You know what? I was in a time crunch, so I pinned it to the top, by the way. It's a 10-minute video, I think, or 12-minute. I know I can be more succinct than that, but I was in a time crunch. We needed to get paid that last tranche of funding, so I just kind of recorded I winged it. I will improve on that demo, make it more succinct. Twice, half long, twice strong. That's what Jizza said, by the way. If you don't know the legend Jizza from the Wu-Tang Clan, that's what he said. Half long, twice strong.
By the way, I will apply that to your. I will apply that same concept to your pitch.
It's too long still, huh?
Yeah. I think so. I think you
get it. Yeah. Get it under. Listen, you want it under 3 minutes.
Well, in the first sentence,
basically, you want a Lido minute.
Yeah, you definitely want it under 3 minutes. That's like the longest
and not only that, but the first couple of sentences should really contain what the product is. What is it? And then you elaborate on it. Then you tell people why that matters to them, but the first should be, this is what this is, and go from there. Don't elaborate on it before you say what it is. Like, tell me what it is right away.
I think the best pitch is always like problem, reaction, solution. You know what I'm saying? Like just follow that format. Like if I always think back to like the Shark Tanks, and it's like, how do they really start off their pitch? They always start off by addressing the problem, right? Like so currently in the music industry, there's a huge oversight when it comes to the actual monetization. With blockchain technology, it will allow for artists to keep track of the streams and stuff like that. That's how I would come out with the pitch myself personally. You know what I'm saying? But I thought it was amazing, and I'm really like I love music, Sess. You know what I'm saying? And I heard you talk about it a few times. I've always wondered like what was the differentiation between you guys and Noom, and you kind of broke that down. So I just really want to know, like, what more as a community can we do to kind of like bring support to what it is that you're like. Like what are your needs right now, like that you're desperately needing? Is it just a connection to the people in the music industry, or is it fun? Is it more additional funding? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking
So
about?
I appreciate your comment. And before I answer your question, I have like a problem statement that I nixed from the pitch because I thought it would make it too lengthy. And I'm just going to read that paragraph to you real quick and see how that lands. So the problem of musicians not being paid their fair share is a well-chronicled one. But the record labels aren't the bad guy. It's the music royalty payment infrastructure that needs to be upgraded. Currently, it's a hodgepodge of different agencies whose job it is to collect music royalties on the artist's behalf. And there are different collection agencies for the different types of music royalties that exist. And there are different agencies for the different jurisdictions of the world. So Canada has a collection agency, America, Africa, etc., etc. It's a tangled ball of yarn. It's not transparent, which is how artists are taken advantage of. Collecting royalties today is basically still a manual process that takes months, sometimes years to be paid. But the artists aren't going to collect the royalties themselves. This is the way things have to be for now. That's the problem statement, right? Before I get into what we do. But anyway, so now that I got that, we could talk about the problem if that it lands to you guys. But what do I need from the? I don't need the music contacts. I mean, I'm pretty well connected. What I need really is support and investment. I don't really want to go the VC route. I'm really avoiding it, like trying to put a cat in the water, like trying to bathe a cat. I am kicking, screaming, and scratching from having to do that. I don't want a puppet master up our asses telling us what to do. And I really have bought into the philosophy of decentralization and governance by the community. With that being said, we're exploring options for crowdfunding, equity crowdfund it's called, and it's a new thing, and it allows us to sell equity legally in America. So there's some alpha for you guys. Startengine.com is the platform I'm exploring, but there are others. And so I hope that when we are ready to launch our equity crowd fund, that the community participates in ownership in this protocol that we're all building. I don't even wish to be that. This is going to be controversial, and some of our team members told me to stop saying this, but I don't even want to be the CEO of this thing. I just want to build it. I just know that this is what is needed in the music industry, and I see it clear as day, and so I'm going to build it. But am I the financial services guru? Hell fucking no. I don't think I'm qualified to build this thing once it gets to a certain point. I believe that I'm qualified to push the canoe in the water, right? So to speak, get it started. But once this thing is rolling, I don't think I'm qualified to be the CEO of such a company. So we'd even be looking for somebody to help us steer the ship there. And that's kind of controversial. Most people want to be the CEO. I have no ego about this. I just want to build this thing. That's it. Anyway, I'm ranting now. What's up? Next.
I just think that whoever is telling you that don't say this is not so much because it's controversial, but because it might hurt you into getting people to trust. So maybe you want to keep that part out of your pitch, not because it's it's heartfelt and all. And I know you're very passionate, but I really suggest you. And what AI Love said is true. It's a great advice, but you should always start with the concept, like what the description of what is it, like the concept. What are you? Are you a jukebox? Are
Well,
you?
I
What
think
are
I
you?
said
In 2 sentences, no longer than that.
we provide financial services for the music industry via our music rights protocol. So our protocol will automatically.
So you're a protocol.
Yep, a protocol that automatically distributes music royalties back to the rights holders. Boom.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I just want to say, as I have, at least on one occasion, eaten sand while trying to push a canoe into the water. So that's definitely a challenging task for some people. Let's keep the hands going. Go ahead, Etty Coffee.
No, let Gold Rush go first.
Go ahead, Gold Rush.
Hey, good morning, everybody. So I noticed, so like Noom kind of is about fractionalization of future royalties, right? So you can kind of sell those out. And you guys kind of sound like you're trying to be the infrastructure for the actual royalty collecting mechanisms like BMI and ASCAP and all those guys, right? So how do you plan to tackle that? I mean, are you planning to work with those companies? Are you going to go head to head with them? So like, are you planning for for them to use your blockchain technology to streamline their operations, or are you planning to be more adversarial with those royalty collection agencies? You understand?
I understand what you're saying. Our philosophy is evolution, not revolution. We do not seek to burn down the existing music industry. We seek to integrate with them, right? That's our philosophy. And so with that being said, yes, we hope that this protocol is one that ASCAP, BMI, and all collection agencies can use to increase the value proposition that they offer to their clients, to their users. You can use this protocol as an independent artist and not have to sign to ASCAP, BMI. And I do believe that these major companies will have to, as time goes on, have to add more to what they offer artists, because basically all the work is being done for them on the protocol level, right? With the auto distribution of royalties. But yeah, we want to integrate with the existing music industry, not burn it down.
Empty Coffee.
Gold Rush, you have a follow-up or anything?
Oh yeah, I was going to ask, what side of the royalties they plan on tackling first, like sync royalties, or is there any specific aspect that they plan to tackle first? I know that when I was speaking to Ryan, he said that streaming was kind of the low-hanging fruit for them, because all these other avenues, like sync rights and all these, I can't remember what they're all called, but like when a song is performed live and all of that, like there's too much that requires boots on the ground to really enforce all of those things. And so that's why I was curious how you were going to interact with those companies that already kind of have that infrastructure or whatever. But so I imagine, maybe I'm looking at this wrong, but do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on which apps are built on our protocol. Remember, it's just math. Royalty distribution is just math, whether it's a sync royalty, a performance, that's what you're talking. Sync royalties are royalties applied to music that is overlaid over video. So every time you hear music in a film, advertisement, that's a sync royalty that was paid to the rights holders, right? A performance royalty is one where the song is quote unquote performed, played on the radio. When you hear the song in the metaverse, that'll be a performance royalty, right? And yet still there is no plumbing, so to speak, that sees royalties be paid for the performance of those songs in the metaverse back to the rights holders. Until that's what we hope we hope to solve that. So it really depends on which apps are built or connect to our protocol. We're not, and it's just simple math at that point, whether for the different types of royalties that exist, is just a percentage split, right? And it doesn't change depending on the type of royalty that's being licensed. So we're just splitting the money down. I forgot what I was going to fucking say, damn it. Yeah, so it's just so it depends on which partnerships we strike up with. We have letters of intent with a sync licensing platform, for example. We have a LOI from a music streaming app, and we have an LOI with a platform, actually. And a metaverse, a Future Fest. I don't know if I should drop these names, but yeah, Future Fest signed a letter of intent. So yeah, word. So did Soundrig, by the way, but yeah. We just want to power royalties back so that these guys don't have to solve that problem. We'll do it for them, right? Project Noom is trying to solve that problem too, but they're just grabbing the royalties from Spotify and then paying the people who bought fractions of the NFT of their sale, right? So they're not even distributing all royalties, just for their customers that bought NFTs. And like I said, I don't want to talk bad about them or sound like I'm fudding them. We're friends. So I want them to connect to our protocol. So I want to be very limited on what I say, but it's very different.
So you had mentioned in your pitch about a minimal viable product. Mm-hmm. Where can people view that? How does people see that? Where's the information on that? Because that's important. You're looking for people to, invest, and maybe you're going to go the Catalyst route. Maybe you're not. I don't know. But that's important information for people to see is that you have this. And also, we talked at Rare Bloom, and you were working with certain people, and I don't know how much information you've let out or whatever. So yeah. I don't want to,
Well, I'll tackle that first, and I'll probably forget your first question, so I'll ask you to repeat it. But yeah, we worked with IOG to help us with our tokenomics. So they assigned a team to us, including 2 quants, Colin Edwards and Armita Jaluli, and with their help, we crafted a really strong tokenomic structure that was way more complicated than I even anticipated, but it's awesome. They know their shit. So I hope that communicates credibility to our project, that these people, in fact, I mean, I asked Colin if I clipped it, but he said out of his own mouth, and he's a quant, financial quant, and he said that our project is far beyond any project he's seen in the music space. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but yeah. Also,
you should have seen when he showed me the picture of the message.
Oh, you saw the clip. That's right. I showed it to you. Exactly. But I asked for permission to show it, and IOG was like, no, we don't want to seem like we're blah, 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 blah. So I couldn't use it. Anyway, what else I showed it to Charles Hoskinson, though, and then he said, I know Colin. He knows Colin, and he listens to Colin. So I already got instant credibility when I played that clip to him. But anyway,
minimal viable.
That's the next thing. So I'm very intentional with the words, and you notice I'm not calling it an MVP. I'm calling it a proof of concept. I don't think that we have built a minimum viable product yet for our end user, which is the artist or record label. We have built a proof of concept that demonstrates that the auto distribution of music royalties is possible. We'll need additional funding to build on that, the bells and whistles needed for a music professional to actually use this minimally, right? It's a minimum viable product. So we're not quite there yet. We are developers. It's like there's 2 phases to this proof of concept. We've built the first phase, and that is when I press play on a song. See, because showing a protocol is like showing the internet. You can't really show the internet. You must show something built on top of the internet, right? Facebook, Twitter, Google, right? You show these apps to demonstrate the power of the internet, but you can't show the internet. So in that same way, we can't show our music protocol, right? We have to build a simple app on top of the protocol so that we can demonstrate the protocol in action, right? And so with that being said, we've built a simple music player that when I press play on the song over here, over there, the wallets associated with that song get that amount, a percentage of the value that I use to play the song, right? The token that I put into the machine to play the song, the quarter into the machine, so to speak, right? That gets split down and auto distributed to the wallets associated with the song. And so that I felt was a very powerful demonstration to the music professional. It's not meant to be shown to the end user, which is the listener, right? So the second phase, and I think this will make a more complete demo, but we kind of ran out of money. Thankfully, I have a developer who is still building it and is taking an IOU. Thank you to Peter. Shout out to Peter. But that second phase will be the upload of the song, right? Because like I said, the songs already exist. If you listen to the demo, they're already there. We use some classical music. So the second phase will be that anybody can upload a song, and enter the metadata like they normally would: title of the song, genre of music, etc. But there's an extra field of information you must put. That is the collaborators of the song, the splits that were negotiated, and the wallet of each of the each of the parties. Now, when you click upload to the song and you upload it to our network, now then it gets to that second phase where they can type in the name of their own song, press play, pay for that play, and then they'll see that payment was auto distributed to the wallets as per the instructions that they just input themselves. So I think that makes a more compelling demo that anyone could then upload. It's on the test net, so it's not really generating real royalties, so we can just play around with it. At that point, I will let it loose for the Cardano community to tinker around with it and play with it when I feel like it's a more complete proof of concept demo.
Davis, please go ahead.
Would you be interested in
Hang on 1 second,
music
Davis.
streamer?
Just so session. I know you get very excited and you get going and going. We are over over the time, so this will be the last round of hands. Just try to keep your answer to the point. And
Got it. Sorry about that.
No worries. Okay, we have 3 hands. Nobody else raised their hand. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Please, everybody, raise your fucking hands.
Get your hands up.
Would you be interested in integrating with a music streaming service? I'm friends with the senior vice president of business development at Cobuzz, and this is something they might be interested in.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and it doesn't even matter which blockchain it is either. If you're building a music player on Ethereum or Polygon, I don't care. The settlement layer has to be on Cardano because Cardano is the most secure, and I need to protect the funds that are being generated for my artist users and record labels. So that's why I chose Cardano. But you can build on anyway. Like I said,
thanks, Session. That was pretty clear.
That was clear. like the Visa and merchant relationship, bro. So
go ahead, AI Love.
Nah, man. I think it's a wonderful idea. I think it's something that's really needed. As far as the industry standards and the competitive nature of like just the record labels and the way that they view things as far as collections, I don't know if it interferes with their money. I just don't know why they would be incentivized to kind of like do it. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I'm like a huge advocate of just Web3 in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe in the power of Web3. I want to show that power demonstrated. I believe that there's a unique opportunity for artists inside of our community to really get that outreach and not even need to use those sort of same standard and metrics, right? And just everything code from the contract to the licenses to the copyright and everything is blockchain. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that'll usher in a new wave and a new train of thought. And then think about the power that puts inside of the hands of the artist. Now, I don't have a problem selling a McDonald's a copy of, my song for $20,000, $30,000 for the jingle, because I'm gonna get paid every single time they play that now. It's all directly tied to the blockchain. But can I do that if I'm running through the industry standards? I don't know if that'll be permissible. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me address that. First of all, this protocol is for the music professional or for any record label to use. That record label term is interchangeable. You, AI Love, can be your own record label, and these tools will still benefit you the same as if you were universal, right? It works the same. So if you don't need major label support and you can do it on your own, then do it. You can do it with this protocol, and it's just the same. So we want to make sure that I want to make sure that I draw the line
Symbiotic. I see
that we're not just building this for major labels. And second, you asked for what are the benefits to a label as opposed to how they're doing it currently. There are many. One, it takes months for them to get paid too, bro, and I'm reducing it to minutes. So imagine how much more a business can reinvest into their business if they're seeing their return faster by months, but in order of magnitudes faster, right? So that's one. Two, and I can give you many more points, but I'm gonna keep it short for Lido. But another is access to emerging markets. So the limitation, even though Spotify and other streaming platforms, the bread and butter of the music industry so far, they generate 65% of $26 billion. So they generate that's about $16 billion. That's what they generate for the music industry. But there's a limit to their growth, and that limit, as Cardano knows intimately, is the subscription service, because you need a bank account to subscribe to them. But there are billions of people in this world that are bankless. We know this. But these bankless people who are unbanked have wallets, digital wallets. And so we effectively are building a bridge, a technical bridge that sees, that allows record labels access to these people in the emerging markets who have crypto wallets and they don't have a bank account in sight. Actually, even in America, about 15% of the population are unbanked, which is an interesting
Well
stat.
said, Session.
Yeah. Anyway, so
there are billions of people in this world.
Yep.
That's
And
a
they
fact.
love music too, and so more money, more fans, more growth.
Go ahead. Awesome. Awesome, Miss Jael.
Yo, it's your boy Awesome as JL, aka the biggest music artist in the metaverse. What is good? Shout out to Cardano over coffee. Shout out to Perplexus and the how you say that? DEMU protocol?
DEMU. Just think
DEMU protocol.
decentralized music, right? DEMU, right? So yeah.
Okay, cool. DEMU.
There you go.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay. So one of my things is with this protocol, like I really don't see how it's useful for me, right? So I have an NFT music project, right? And I actually did it through I actually mint through NFT Maker or NMaker, right? So with me minting through NMaker, all my NFTs, I got everything set up how I want it to be set up, right? And I hear what you're saying, like as far as your music protocol and how you're going to get music royalties, like in sync licensing. And like one of my questions is, isn't that more privy to Web 2 rather than Web 3? Like, where does the Web 3 integration come into this protocol?
Is the auto distribution of music royalties. It's impossible without the blockchain. That's where Web3 comes in. We're not trying to be just Web3. We want artists to collect their money, even if it's terrestrial radio, even if it has nothing to do with the internet. I want my money, right? I used to be an artist myself. Well, here's how it benefits you. Let me take it. You upload your songs to the protocol, right? Now your songs are embedded with a smart contract that has the instructions on how to pay you for the licensing of music across the app layer, right? The top layer. Now, every single app that builds on our protocol, it's another revenue or another sales channel, a potential sales channel so you can monetize your music. So a music streaming app connects to our protocol. Now you can generate royalties from that platform. Sync licensing. Now your music is available to TV and film professionals who are looking for music licensable content for their TV or film or advertisement, and you're there front and center. Let's say NMaker Pro wants to create their own NFT. NFT, music NFT collection. Now they have access to licensable content to do that with IP, because the instructions for paying royalties are already embedded in the song that they choose to license, right? It's a licensing play, bro. And each one of these apps, as more apps are built on top of our protocol or connected to our protocol, it multiplies the earning potential of your catalog of music. It's not about any NFT, bro. You need to think bigger than that. You are a business. If you are an artist, you are a business, and you need to be able to monitor, make available, and license your music across all sales channels, not just Web3. I hope that was clear.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I mean, to be honest, like I do all of those things already. So that's
But you do it.
that's why I'm
But you
listening.
do it manually, guaranteed. It's manual. In this case, it would be,
Manual.
yeah.
I guess it means, I mean, to me, it's like that's what we want. We want all the systems to upgrade to this, but we also want these tools to be available on an individual level. So you don't, if you want to start and do things on your own, you also can. So I think there are rooms for different approaches here, and I think it's important for adoption to have something like this, because I'd much rather the music business right now, the way it works, to upgrade to a system like this than not,
Yep.
right? So they're not going to just give up.
Exactly.
So they will embrace this, and it will kind of give it adoption.
And Jenny, the increased transparency is what's going to lead to better deals. Because, see, I can't control what a grown-ass artist or a grown-ass person, what deals they enter with the record labels. Yes, those deals are exploitive, but you can choose to not sign the damn contract, right? We just simply enforce what you agreed to, right? So, but what I do, but what...
Let me jump in your session. Just because we are way over your slot, and we
It
don't want
always
to set a
happens that way,
precedent.
bro.
We don't want to set
Can I
a.
get him to
Let me.
say Can I get Sessions to say hallelujah?
Hallelujah.
Where is this thing? Okay. So what I think what we're gonna do, obviously we have hands, we have interest. The last 30 minutes of the show is supposed to be open for banter or question. If you're new to Cardano, new to blockchain, you have questions, you can come up and ask. And then of course session is still here. So if you want to keep asking session question too, we can keep doing that. But anybody can come up and ask something else. Don't feel like you need to keep having the same conversation. Go ahead. See you.
Yeah, so I just had a quick question regarding a different streaming protocol. There's a project called Audius, so like a decentralized music streaming protocol. They have like token and governance and staking and all that stuff. And I'm just kind of curious, how is DEMU different than Audius or similar?
See, again, with the I feel like I'm not saying it right. Audius would be a merchant partner. They would connect to our protocol, right? So that we can auto distribute royalties being generated on that music streaming site. We are not the same. We are not this, but I will say this: Audius isn't even they don't even pay artists. They pay artists in their token, in their Audius token. It's not actual money that the artists are getting. And I used to be an artist myself. I don't want to get fucking paid in a Chuck E. Cheese token. I want to get paid in actual money for my music. And that's what our protocol will be able to do. No disrespect to Audius. I'm sorry if I get fucking passionate. I am not the public-facing type, because I'd be saying some shit.
I'm just not 100% clear like how their like token distribution system is like all that different than what you're proposing, and like I'm probably just not understanding.
I think it's just really based off of the rights of the artists and making sure that the distribution of their royalties, no matter what streaming platform that they use, can be implemented, right? And so like you'll be able to streamline the collection process from these contracts. It's utilizing the protocol. What Audius basically what that is doing is that's a site that's rendering like tokens based off of the amount of listens that are streamed there. That has nothing to do in particular with the rights for that individual artist. If I were to
Can I help?
take my music and put it on a movie screen or something like that, like I'm not going to get paid from audience.
Yeah,
You see what I'm
audience
saying?
doesn't facilitate that at all. And again, and you misspoke, AI. It's not just even music streaming platforms; it's all music platforms.
Right. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Can you need to differentiate yourself between a DApp and a protocol, because there's two different things there, right?
Correct.
Audius is a DApp, right? You're a protocol.
Yep.
Audius would run on top of you.
Correct.
That's the answer. You
Correct.
don't need to get all crazy and say all that shit. That's simply the answer.
Yep.
Yes, so DEMU would be the protocol. I entered this space kind of late. I'm sorry if I'm retreading old ground. Hello, session. So one of we want to make an ecosystem that does not have to worry about the plumbing with the royalties, with the rights over IPs, whether you are a lyricist or you are making stems or something, or you are an artist who wishes to safeguard your own assets or to pass it down to your children or whatever. Audius does not manage or facilitate, how do you say, ownership of your own rights over your own catalog. They do not really care about royalty splits. They are focused on streaming. We are focused on catalog ownership by the music professionals who make their own catalog. What you want to do, if you want to put your music on a streaming service that integrates, connects to our protocol, that is your choice. Audius does not really care about that. They do not care about sync licensing or things like that, or making your music accessible across other DApps, which is what we are interested in building Cardano.
And let me underscore that Audius does not pay their artists real money.
I was speaking, well, Dietz was speaking last night to some other people in the Cardano scene, in the hip hop scene, who are also on Ethereum and whatnot. They are not happy with the Audius tokens. They are not happy with the fact that it's basically worthless. They have not really been able to make money off of that.
Let me just jump in here. Isn't DEMU going to be paying people in crypto, in a token, not real money too?
No, we are exploring that. Right now, we've settled on a stable coin that we'll be paying, and so we hope that Cardano hurries up and makes a stable coin. But yeah, it could be fiat as well. The Holy Grail would be fiat. We hope to make the experience easy for end users who don't know anything about crypto, that can use their fiat to pay for some amount of, now I'm talking about the DApp level, or jukebox, that they can use fiat to pay some amount, receive some amount of play tokens that they can use to play the songs. So we will have the artist's future earnings in fiat already that we can pay out in fiat if we wanted to, right? So, but there's still some.
So you do have a DApp, and that's jukebox.
Yeah, and that's
yes, it's the example DApp to show that the plumbing works. We are the plumbers, and we built a toilet just to show that you can flush it. We are not really toilet makers.
So jukebox uses the DEMU protocol.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So just building the puzzle here in my brain.
Yep. Exactly.
So another
jukebox
analogy you can use is like Visa and Spotify are completely different, right? Visa handles the payments infrastructure. They are the boarding account, and Spotify simply uses Visa for whatever, for the money part. So we are like the Visa. We are like the S-band that no one really thinks about, you know.
All right, session. I'm going to DM you because you're looking for a stable coin on Cardano. We're going to get one Q1. So maybe we can talk and,
Hell yeah.
Partnership. Figure this out.
Let's go.
We'll make it strong.
Let's go.
Whoa, are we shilling Meehan and it's not even Blackjack that's doing it?
This collab is brought to you by Rare Evil.
Oh, you know, Matt's my boy. Matthew's my boy. I've already been pinging him, so yeah, for sure. That's another thing.
Where is Blackjack? Blackjack's not on stage? Oh my gosh, what's
Holy
going
Grail
on
is
here?
not fiat. It is
I,
stablecoins.
I want to underscore that I recruit from within Cardano, by the way. All my entire team is recruited from Cardano, and we will continue that moving forward. I'm a Cardano maxi.
Yes, he finds people through Twitter Spaces, through the town hall, through Discords, things like
So
this.
how come you
I
guys
found
are not coming?
myself. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say that I found myself in a class on Rare
Yep.
Bloom and in a room, and only two of us was like, we're looking at each other, was like, "What's
Yeah,
up?"
me and Jenny.
Was it
And
was
that was it.
it was in the side room, yes, the one that was
Yeah.
We were
advertised
like with
only very
Jeremy.
late.
We were with
Right.
Jeremy. Yeah,
Yes.
Jeremy was giving a presentation to the two of us. It was pretty cool.
Poor Jeremy.
What's up, Davis?
Yeah.
I sent your YouTube video demo and your Twitter page for DEMU to David Solomon at Cobuz, the Vice President of Senior Partnerships and Development. So let me know if there's anything else I should send him. Let's see if we can pitch them.
I appreciate it, bro. Hell
Let's
yeah.
go.
Let's go.
Thanks for listening to Cardano Over Coffee, and remember to join us live on Twitter Spaces Monday through Friday at 2:30 p.m. UTC or 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.